going to call this the watermelon series, and I'm going to be doing 5 different soaps with watermelon themes, possibly 6 soaps, but I'm going to do this same intro video for at least these because there are so many pieces that I'm going to be making at the same time for different soaps that they do have a lot of overlap. Like I spent the last few days drawing pictures, coloring, talking to my kids, because I was going to go with a traditional watermelon soap, but I thought, you know, let's have some fun with it. So I've got 2 teenage daughters. I talked to them, they gave me some ideas, and we'll get there just in a second. But I have, like I said, I've got a lot of overlap where I'll be making pieces with kind of little mini batches of soaps that will go into it. So like with soap dough. So I was up till midnight last night and then working again on soap dough designs. I haven't cleaned up my mess yet, but these are going to be going into different loaves of soap, and you can see they're different lengths depending on what I'm going to be doing. These are not going to be full batches. I usually make, like, my full batches are 20 to 24 bars. I know people make bigger ones than that, but that's what I like to do. But anyway, these are going to be just smaller batches, 8 to 10 bars of soap for each one, because they are very labor intensive. And I've been working on these, gosh, I've been brainstorming for a while now, but actually pen and paper for the last 3 days. I've got a whole bunch of notes that I have for the steps I'm going to take, because like I said, I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth with the different ones. So lots going on. The fragrances I'm going to be using are, I've got 3 from Brambleberry. I've got watermelon sugar, cucumber melon, and then cucumber melon candle and soap. They do smell a little bit different. Now the candle and soap one, that can be obviously used in both candle and soap. They do have a little bit different scents. One of them's a bit earthier to me, so I want to see what they smell like individually, and then I'll do some mixes. I was told that black raspberry vanilla mixed 50-50 with cucumber melon makes an excellent watermelon scent, so I'm going to try that as well. And then for that last batch, I'll probably do some type of a mix. So this will be kind of an intro video for each one, and then now I'm going to talk about the soap that I'm going to be making today. For my 4th batch, this is going to be more of a traditional watermelon, and this one was one of my original ideas, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it with soap dough and have some fun with it. This one took me quite a bit longer to figure out the rim, and what I'm gonna do with this one is all gonna be vertical. I have my column mold, which I'll show you here in a second, and then once I make the watermelon portion, then I'm going to use this vertical mold that my husband made me and do kind of like a plaid tablecloth. That's my idea, to think about having a plaid tablecloth, and you're at a picnic and you have a nice big round of watermelon. That is my goal. So what I did is I used this little, if you can see it, I have this little cube that I used for my extruder disc, and I extruded 3 different colors, and I didn't have enough of the soap dough, and it takes me about week and a half to get soap dough ready to go, and I don't have time for that. So I extruded those out, and then if you can see those colors, I laid it out and ended up rolling it with, where is it? This thing is really great for rolling out soap dough. Just put saran wrap on both sides. The problem is with soap dough, does not behave the same as like polymer clay or clay. It doesn't stick very well, and it doesn't bend very well. So it took a lot of finagling and talking to it to get it to do what I wanted it to get it in there. So this will be the rim of it. Now, because I end up having to make the rim a lot smaller, my original plan, I made this out of, this is a paper towel tube, is I put saran wrap around it to put in the middle, and then I was going to pour the white around the outside and then take this out, pour the pink. However, the white I think is going to be way too big, so I'm going to need to get some bigger tube or somehow wrap this to make it bigger, because I don't want a white rim that big. So the plan is I will pour the white. Once that's set up, I'll take this out, and then I'll pour the red. I do have my little seeds made up already, so I've got 6 of these little seeds that will go in. I want to try and do it in a circle, so probably what I'll do is once that white is set up, I'll pour a little bit of soap in the bottom to get these set in place, because if I pour the red first and then push them in, the top may be fine, but they're going to be all over the place. So I want to try and get them as even as possible in that. Anyway, then I will pour blue to make the picnic part, and have to let that set up for a day or two. Then I'll slice that into the correct sizes. But I won't really know the correct size until this is done. I can put it in there, and then so I'll have the corner pieces, and then I'll have the side pieces depending on how many. And then finally, once everything is set in there, I will pour a white around that to finish out the tablecloth. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll come back. I don't know if I'll be pouring this part or if it'll be done. It just kind of depends on, like I said, I've got a lot of other things going on at the same time with these soaps. So I'm not going to be able to record everything because that's going to be a lot of recording, a lot of editing, a lot of cutting and all that, but it's going to be a really cool soap. I'm on to the next part with the watermelon itself. And you can see I've got the white poured there, and then there was that rim that I already had. What I ended up doing with the tube is I wrapped it in some paper towels, and then I wrapped it again with the plastic wrap to make it bigger. So that's where I want it. Now the seeds, this has continued to be a problem. I've actually worked on it for a bit this morning. What I end up doing is kind of cutting out paper guides, and I tried just doing one on top, but then the seeds would just still go wonky. So I ended up having to put a guide on the bottom and the top, and the bottom I put it down as low as I can. So I'm just going to have to leave it there because obviously I can't take it out. I'm just going to have to leave it there and then just cut off that portion of the soap, or we'll just use it ourselves because I'm not going to be able to get the paper out, and I don't know how else to make it work with this idea. So it's fine. Just house soap. Anyway, once I get to the top, I'll be able to take off hopefully the top one without messing it up. I've got it up as high as I can go without them falling out. The color I'm going to use for the watermelon is Queen of Hearts from Nurture Soap, and then I decided to go with the Cucumber Melon Candle and Soap for this one. And I did pour the blue. This is just a little handmade mold I made. What was this out of? This was a half and half container that I just lined with some plastic wrap. It's not very pretty, but it'll be cut into squares for that picnic tablecloth. And I used Klein Blue for that one. And I didn't use a lot, so it's not as dark, but I think it's going to be really pretty blue, and it's going to contrast against that white. So I did that. I poured that yesterday. I'm not going to be able to cut that until probably tomorrow. And then, let's see, I've got my poppy seeds that I will add in there as well. The extra from this soap will be poured into one of the column molds that will be used for one of the other batches. So, and then I did go ahead and mix with some water. I do use a liquid discount of, I use 1 part lye, 1.5 parts water, and I did add some more water into the mica instead of using oil because I kind of want to try to get some of the glycerin rivers. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. So I did actually add a little bit extra water there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that, and then this will set for a day, and I should be able to cut the next part and then make the actual vertical mold here with that.